Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? You got Justin.
And Zero.
We got a little bit of Pokemon Masterclass news update today for the OU singles ladder.
Yeah.
What's going on today, Brandon?
So, big news coming out of the Showdown ladder, like you said. Cinderace and Magearna have been quick banned, and a lot of this has to do with the feedback that they got on the recent How Do You Feel About OU survey. Magearna was an overwhelming majority to get banned. Most people said that she was broken, and then Cinderace, the general consensus was that he was broken, but there was a little more discrepancy on that. And I know you feel pretty strongly about Cinderace in a certain way, and I do as well. But you think we don't have much to say about Magearna. Should we just start talking about Magearna first then?
Yeah, I feel like Magearna is incredibly strong. She's got really good type, really good move coverage, really good utility moves also. Like, she can self-trick room. She's got, like I said, really good coverage.
Yeah.
The Volt Switch can really hurt. That's what a lot of people are usually scared of with her. I don't know. The Floor Cannon obviously just destroys people. The Stored Power set is very oppressive. I don't know. I'm not really surprised. Let's put it that way. I'm not surprised that Magearna got banned out of OU yet again.
Me either. I kind of feel like we thought that this was going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Like one thing that you alluded to, and I've got the thread up here, and they talk about the first thing that they do talk about is the choice spec set. And I had said to you before we had started recording this that choice specs Magearna with Floor Cannon is kind of like choice specs Draco Meteor, Kyurem, and UU. Like the way that you can just click a button and erase something if it doesn't resist.
Yep.
And
just absolutely nuke it.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing that they point out is the bulk. She's got incredible bulk with a really good typing, like you said, 80 HP and then 115 for both defenses. That's really hard to take down.
Just so strong.
And then they talk about, like you had alluded before, the Shift Gear set, which I think is the most broken set that she has.
Yep.
If you get the Shift Gear up while you're at full health, and then you're able to just kind of pick and choose between Calm Mind and Iron Defense, whatever your Magearna set is, and then just start boosting up, and complement that with Stored Power and Draining Kiss, and that's the set that really dismantles a lot of teams. They do in this thread talk about Haze, Toxapex, which is a really good answer to that if you're not already boosted up. And then Taunt, Heatran. Heatran's a little faster. I think even the defensive sets are a little bit faster. Yeah, and then like you said, the incredible coverage. Floor Cannon, Ice Beam, Focus Blast, stuff like that. It's not a big surprise, and I don't think that either of us felt like it was something that is a surprise.
Yeah. I'm not surprised at all. It's like you said, it's something that we've actually predicted, and I'm almost a little surprised that it took this long. But at the same time, it's one of those things where we can kind of see the writing on the wall. It's already happened once in 8th gen. And they didn't really bring anything in with the Crown Tundra that can effectively handle Magearna.
Yeah, things that didn't get banned to Ubers like pretty quickly.
Exactly. Exactly. There's nothing that was introduced that is now like, ooh, we didn't have this before Crown. So, like I said, I could definitely understand that this is going to be banned again. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, kudos to Showdown and that whole community and everyone for kind of letting the metagame, like, even though these got banned, like, kudos to them for not like quick banning them like
right away
earlier. Yeah, like kudos to them for letting the metagame kind of like stew, so we can get like more precise data on these Pokemon, and there's not a lot of like what ifs, I feel like, anymore with Magearna.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
I think that's all we got to say about her. Until we come around to what gets better. Let's talk about Cinderace, man. You talk about Cinderace. You feel pretty strongly about Cinderace.
I like the bunny. I think it's really good. Personally, I don't think that it's we'll use the common colloquialism and say broken. I don't think that Cinderace Libero is broken. I definitely understand people's complaints. I understand people's it is an S tier threat. I don't mean to undermine it and say that Libero Cinderace is not strong, because it is. I just don't think it's uber territory. That's my personal opinion. I would have really loved to see either it stay in OU, or like they've done before with things like Drought or Drizzle or other abilities that have been a problem in the past, just ban Libero and let us use regular Blaze Cinderace. But we are sitting in this format now where Cinderace is uber, which opens up a lot of big defensive slots in the OU tier that Cinderace used to be able to check or straight up counter in certain ways.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. And I want to go on record and say I agree that I think that maybe it should have at least got a suspect test this time around, because there's more threats around. I don't think it's broken either, and I also wish that we could get it to where we could just ban Libero, because now he's got access to a really cool signature move in Court Change, and now we can't use it.
Exactly, and that's fun.
Yeah,
and not to mention he's one of the starters from 8th Gen, and it's just, if I feel the same way back when Speed Boost Blaziken, not Mega, but Speed Boost Blaziken was banned, and I agreed with it back then. The same thing I'm saying now. If Speed Boost Blaziken was a problem, then you should have just banned the ability Speed Boost and let us continue to use Blaze.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's a ship that both of us will die on. I agree with that one as well.
Yeah, and it's because they have shown that they have this proclivity to ban things. Like I already said, in lower tiers, they ban Drizzle and Drought all the time.
Yep.
So like they absolutely have the at their disposal. They have that technology to click that button and just say like that. What I mean is they have whoever runs Showdown. You know what I mean? They have that ability to just, not to sound redundant, but to just ban an ability, not a full poke.
Or at the very least, ask the community their thoughts on some sort of complex ban.
Exactly.
Like let's say, hey guys, what do you think about banning Libero and not Cinderace? Because I feel like a lot of people would be on this boat that we are kind of
100%.
That we're kind of sailing out here.
If that was an option, I feel like a lot of people would jump on.
Yep.
Like, we can use the bunny, just not the air quotes broken ability. Sure, no problem.
Yeah. So a lot of this is stemming from Cinderace's versatility, and then obviously the head games of
very versatile. Which again, neither one of us, Pokemon Masterclass as a brand, we acknowledge and we absolutely accept and admit that Cinderace is an S tier threat in whatever meta he's in. Cinderace is a good poke, especially with Libero. It's very versatile, very strong.
Yeah.
Neither one of us is suggesting to the contrary. We just don't think that it's Magearna or Pheromosa or Gorilla Tactic Star Manatan level of broken.
Yeah, I agree. So like I said, the unpredictability is usually like that head game. Are they going to turn into a dark type and sucker punch me on my psychic? They're on high jump kick right now. Do I click psychic or what do I click? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that can be really frustrating for players. But like you said, it counters and has countered a lot of really potent defensive threats like Corviknight. Zen Headbutt can work if you can catch Toxapex on the switch. But yeah, there's just so many offensive threats that it really kind of kept in check. Ironhead for Clefables and things of that nature. Now it's just not there. So now we have to look elsewhere for those answers when we had them all kind of wrapped up into one really great Pokemon. And
which had a lot of options, and we saw a lot. Like, I mean, Heatran still gets Stab Fire and Stab Steel, so it's a good, decent replacement for Cinderace in a lot of team slots.
Yes.
It's just unfortunate that now we're kind of pigeonholed. It's like, okay, we have either Heatran, defensive Moltres, or Quiverdan's Volcarona. That's basically our only options for reliable fire types in OU, outside of dipping down below the tier, and it's just a little unfortunate.
Yep. So, speaking of tiers, what do you think with both of these? Let's keep in mind, like, both of these, I would say. What do you think gets better? Anything that speaks out in your mind? Like anything that jumps out to you immediately?
Corviknight.
Corviknight.
He's not worried about the Cinderace Pyro Ball. He's not worried about Magearna Choice Specs Volt Switch. It's actually really, really safe now for Magearna. Like, he still takes a lot of damage from Magma Storm. Most Moltres are not running special attack investment, and the Volcarona just dies to a Brave Bird.
Yeah.
So he's at it,
or whatever.
Or he's in a decent, like, solid check position to all three of the main fire types in OU. Now, again, the Magma Storm, without any special attack investment, does like 50 to 60%, so it's to a special defensive Corv. So Heatran is still the best answer to Corviknight in OU, but like I said before, it's just a little unfortunate, in my opinion, that there's not more options. It's like Heatran or bust.
Yeah, and I agree. I think you kind of hit the nose. I think you kind of hit it on the head there. I think Clefable gets better.
That's a good one.
Removing Iron Head, Cinderace, and Flash Cannon from Magearna. I think you're going to see Clefable usage go way up once again.
She's going to go back to the top of the tier. Probably number one in usage again, I would assume, which would be like, what, the third time in Gen 8?
Like pretty much like most of Gen 8. I think Slowbro gets way better now. He doesn't.
Kanto?
Yes, Cantonian Slowbro. Just like you mentioned, he doesn't get Volt Switched and U-turned on for super effective damage anymore, so that's going to make him even better. One thing that we've kind of noticed,
Regenerator's always really nice.
Yeah, one thing that you and I have kind of noticed.
Have a core of Regenerator Toxapex. Toxapex always did well into Cinderace, but not being and does decent, if not really well, into Magearna outside of the Volt Switch. But again, it's Volt Switch now, so you're not actually fighting in that matchup. But we could take Floor Cannon. So I think Toxapex stocks never dipped.
No.
They're just even higher than they were before.
Yeah, she wasn't like necessarily super worried about these Pokemon because she can regenerate her off the Volt Switch damage later on. But I agree. I totally agree with what you're saying. I think the general thing here is as these bans come in, I think not necessarily stall, but like defensive teams are getting better.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Because those are huge offensive threats that are just out of the tier now. There's like 4 or 5 crazy big offensive threats, and none of the defensive threats have got banned yet. I mean, Magearna can be used as a defensive option, but traditionally it's not like the bulky walls on your team.
So one thing that I want to kind of point out, or kind of talk about a little bit before we wrap this up, is Pokemon that could potentially replace these. For Cinderace, I really like Barraskewda. Really fast flip turn.
Really fast
and strong flip turn. Gets really good coverage with Poison Jab, Close Combat, Crunch, Liquidation. Just kind of pick and choose whatever you're missing on your team.
Psychic Fangs.
Psychic Fangs to break screens. I really like Barraskewda. I think he's going to get a lot better.
Very good fish.
How do you feel about Dragapult for this kind of offensive
I like Dragapult
pivot?
a lot. Well, especially because Dragapult can run either physically or specially offensive. It gets U-turn. It's really fast. It's got a really good move coverage, as we've seen both in OU's singles, VGC doubles, or the 3v3 ranked ladder. Like Dragapult, it's just in every meta everywhere. For a reason. It's got an insanely good support move pool. Thunder Wave, Confuse Ray. It can do special things like Surf, Flamethrower. I think it gets T-Bolt, if I'm not mistaken. Gets a lot of good Dragon moves, Ghost moves. Then obviously on the physical side, things like Dragon Darts, hits twice.
It does get T-Bolt.
T-Bolt,
there.
Yep.
So I totally agree.
It's just one of those pokes that can, again, like physical, special. It's a really good expert belt poke. It's a really good choice banded or choice specs because of its naturally good speed. Dragapult's a good shout out. Really good shout out.
I totally agree. And then I think things to lesser extent. You talked about Rillaboom.
Rillaboom does have U-turn. It's just the speed difference between Rillaboom and Cinderace is quite significant. The 85 to 119 is quite a large margin to leap, but Rillaboom's also tankier, brings terrain, and hits harder. So it's one of those it's more of like a bruiser slot rather than that glass cannon sweeper or cleanup crew like Cinderace usually plays for a team.
Yep.
But it's definitely there as more of like maybe like an A or a B tier pick to replace Cinderace in that sense. If you want like an offensive, you'd run Choice Scarf or Choice Banded Rillaboom.
Yeah.
Those are definitely options. I'm a big fan of Choice Scarf Rillaboom, actually. Adamant Choice Scarf. It's actually really strong.
You got an 85 base speed with a Scarf could be pretty good.
Yeah, it actually is pretty legit speed tier once you factor that Choice Scarf in. And then it's just a matter of what other moves you put. My personal, if we want to dive into it 2 seconds, it would be either Grassy Glide or Wood Hammer. Again, Choice Scarf Grassy Glide is a little redundant, but it still hits strong. And there are options, there are scenarios where the priority really does come in handy.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Wood Hammer is your go-to grass move. And then
also gets knockoff.
He does get knockoff in Gen, so that's a really good call. And then he gets things like Drain Punch. He can Superpower. He can also Earthquake. And then obviously, like we already talked about, the U-turn pivot. There's a lot of good choices there.
Yeah, he gets high horsepower, which I think is what people run in the grassy terrain.
Yeah, because obviously you don't want to. You're right. I misspoke. So you don't obviously want to use EQ, Bulldoze, or Magnitude in the grassy terrain because it cuts their damage by 50%. So that is a good call out. I misspoke. It's a really good call out.
And then really quickly, kind of not really the same kind of plane of existence. Flip Turn Swampert. We like that on the channel. However, we have reserves about
bruiser type.
We have reserves about it being kind of the same thing as.
Exactly.
So, and then another couple I wanted to talk about really quick. Blaziken, although the speed is 80, you could Scarf it with U-turn if you really wanted to. But it's just kind of not the same.
Either Swords Dance or Protect for the speed boost.
Yeah.
And then he's actually hitting harder than Cinderace, obviously minus all the stab from the barrel.
Yeah.
And then he gets a perfect accuracy move in Flare Blitz out instead of the Pyro Ball.
Yeah, and then a more reliable electric move in Thunder Punch over Cinderace's Electro Ball.
Exactly.
And then the very last Pokemon I wanted to talk about...
Which is physical instead of special, so it actually, like you said, it's just the way better option in that scenario.
Yeah, the very last Pokemon that I wanted to talk about was...
yes, sir. Hit me with it.
Was Electric Kitty in UU.
Zeraora.
Yeah, I think you could see a rise in this Pokemon's usage now.
Yeah, the Expert Belt set's pretty good. Now, we as a channel have been so far, what's the best word to put it? Underwhelmed?
Yeah, as far as like the damage output goes.
Unimpressed?
Yeah.
Zeraora has been... Now, I obviously... I took a hiatus in about most of 7th Gen, Brandon as well, so we didn't actually get to use Zeraora until 8th Gen. So this is a little bit new to us, this generation. So again, if people are already on this train from previous generations, that might be why we're talking about it like this now. Yeah. But the Zeraora has been, like I said, just very unimpressed with the damage output. We've run Choice Banded, we've run Expert Belt, and we've run Life Orb respectively between the two of us.
Definitely not the late game sweeper, I would say.
No, it's very much, in my opinion, the best role that we've tried is one that I forgot to mention, which was the Heavy Duty Boots pivot.
Yes. Yep. I definitely think there's room for that to replace Cinderace because it gets Blaze Kick, it gets Close Combat, Volt Switch, Knockoff in this form, Plasma Fists. So.
Yep. Lots of potential.
Yes.
You might just need to get some definite chip damage on and even just remove some of the big defensive threats on the enemy team because that cat's not going to punch through that brick.
Yep. And then one more thing I wanted to say before we go, if you're looking for a Pokemon to replace your choice Magearna, just toss a Specs on Latios.
Yep, absolutely. That's a great call. Latios destroys people. It's got great typing. It's got great coverage. Some of the best coverage out of any Poke in the entire game right now.
Yep.
Fighting, fire, ice, electric, psychic, dragon.
Yep. A better speed
Steel,
tier.
Dark, Ghost.
Yep.
Like the list goes on. It learns basic Grass. It literally gets almost any move in the game.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Agreed. So I think
And it's a Hoenn rep, so you can't really go wrong there.
That's true. Just true. The resident Hoenn rep guy here. So yeah, I think that kind of wraps up everything we wanted to say. What do you think?
No, that's pretty much all I had to say about the bans. I'm not. It's not a hill I'm willing to die on. I'm not going to go start a forum and save Cinderace. But if someone were to ask my opinion, yeah, I would definitely think that either Libero Cinderace or at least Blaze should be OU, and then Magearna. That's fine with me. I agree with it being banned. I could see some argument with staying OU, but not really. I'm on the boat with Magearna being banned. I think that's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that about wraps it up. Got our feelings and our ideas out of the way. Anything you want to say before we go, Justin?
No, I think that's pretty much it. It'll be exciting. Maybe we'll have to do an update in a couple of weeks or something, or maybe on the podcast we'll mention if we try out some Uber battles and maybe see if Magearna and Cinderace stack up there, or maybe they fall flat. That'll be kind of an interesting follow-up.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. If you guys like the video, give us a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. It only takes you a second. We appreciate
it. Really does help out the channel.
Yep. We appreciate any feedback. Leave comments. We like to respond to each and every one of those. Yeah, that's about it. I'm Zero.
Yeah. I'm Justin.
Class is dismissed.
See you guys.